Hello everyone and welcome back to another video. Today's video will be a bit controversial because it is going to be my least favorite books of 2016. The worst books I read the entire year. And as my shirt clearly states, these books are just like, can you not? Can you not? So out of the 52 books that I read in 2016, I have 5 books to show you that I was not happy with. So let's jump right into the video. The first book I have to show you is one that I'm a bit hesitant to put on this list, not because of any backlash that I will receive, but because I am back and forth as to whether or not I actually liked it. And I have to say I'm leaning towards new at this point, which is why it's going to be on this list, and it is Harry Potter and the Cursed Child by John Tiffany and Jack Thorne. This is supposedly the 8th Harry Potter story 19 years later, and it is just mainly script form, and I believe I talked about this in another video, but the reason why I didn't really like this book is because it's definitely meant to be seen on stage. You're definitely meant to see this script played out by actors on a stage during a play, and I think that's why this book didn't thrill me as much. Don't get me wrong, I still enjoyed this story. However, I felt that it was very rushed, and it is definitely not written by J.K. Rowling. So I don't know why she's on there, but yeah, it's definitely not written by her. You could totally tell everything was rushed, and some things just didn't fit and didn't make sense within the novel. Or the play, I should say. One thing that I did really enjoy from this was actually seeing some of the characters from the original Harry Potter series come back in this one, and a lot of people have said that they didn't like that part because they thought the characters were changed a bit. And I agree. I mean, I think they were changed, but one of the characters that you see in this play is Professor Snape, and I did like seeing that because I believe this is how he would have acted if he had survived in the original series. I believe that's exactly how he would have acted. I believe that don't get me wrong, he was a jerk, but he's my favorite character, and I really enjoyed seeing him in this and seeing another side of him, which I think that J.K. Rowling would have been proud of. So I did enjoy that, but yeah, overall, I don't even think I even rated this book on Goodreads because I don't know how to feel about it, but I'm leaning towards not exactly liking it. Next book I have to show you is actually one of the books that I recently read, so one of the last books I read in 2016, and it is Battle Royale by Koshun Takami. I read this book for the Tomb Topple readathon, and I didn't actually finish it during that readathon because I was busy with work and stuff, so it was a little bit too much to read, but yeah, I did end up finishing it. However, I skimmed the last 200 pages of it, so maybe I think I skimmed this much. And that is because while overall the story was very intriguing and very interesting, there was just too much. Just way too much. I didn't care about half of the stuff that was going on because the author felt the need to get into every single character's backstory right before he killed them off. So I didn't care who liked who before they got into this whole situation. I don't care about that. I just want to know about specifically the main characters and some of the side characters and just a little bit about them rather than every single person that was ever in this book. It just got to be way too much, and it was boring to the point where I had to skim the rest of it. But I did end up giving it 3 stars, so while I did enjoy it, it wasn't the greatest. And I believe that it could have been maybe only 300 pages. It could have been this long, and I think it would have been just as good. It would have been better, in my opinion. But yeah, I know this is a classic in some people's minds, but yeah, I didn't enjoy it. The next book I have to show you is probably no surprise because I have said this in many videos before, but it is City of Lost Souls by Cassandra Clare. This is the 5th book in the Mortal Instruments series, and it has just gone on way too long. I enjoyed the first 3 books in Mortal Instruments series. I read them when they first came out years and years and years ago, when it was still only a trilogy. And I enjoyed them. I loved them so much. And then when they said that they were making, or she was releasing more in the series, I was hesitant because I'm like, you already like wrap things up kind of in the third book, and I really enjoyed that, so why are you making more? And then she came out with more, and it just went downhill. I am so ready for this series to be over. I have the 6th book, and I need to force myself to read it in 2017 so I can finish the series. And don't get me wrong, I do want to know what's going on. I do want to know what happens, but the length of them, and I do enjoy some of the characters. I'm done with it. I know a lot of people are going to be saying, well, if you don't like it, why are you going to continue on with the series? Why are you going to finish it? And the answer is because I have been invested in the series for a while now, and I want to know how it ends, and I know you can just Google it. I do have one of the spin-off series, which is Lady Midnight, and I have heard that that one is really good, and I want to know how that one goes, so I would have to finish this series first to know what happens. And if you watch my favorite books of 2016 video, then you will see that actually another one of Cassandra Clare's books actually made it into my favorites. So it's back and forth with me for Cassandra Clare. And yeah, I just really want this particular series, the Mortal Instruments series, I just want it to end because I'm over it. Now, my second to last book on this list is probably a shocker to many people because it has made a lot of people's favorites list of 2016, and now it is on my least favorite. I gave this book 2 stars, and it is The Star-Touched Queen by Roshani Chokshi. If you want to know my full thoughts on this book, I did a full review of it, which I will leave links somewhere on the screen and in the description below. But overall, I did not like this book. I gave it 2 stars. I thought it was rushed. I thought that there was not a lot of information. The writing was beautiful, I admit that, and I did say that in my other review, but it just wasn't for me. I think my main problem was I thought it was very rushed, and I felt no feelings at all for the characters. I didn't care about them. So, yeah. 2 stars, did not like this. I am sorry for people who did, but yeah, I just didn't like it, and I probably won't continue on with the series. Now, the final book I have to show you is probably going to be even more of a shocker than The Star-Touched Queen was to most people, and that is because this one, I think, has made more people's favorite lists than any of the other books that I showed you. And again, I gave this book 2 stars. Did not like it. Unfortunately, I didn't make a review of this book, but I'll talk about it a little more here. But it is 3 Dark Crowns by Kendar Blake. I despise this book. I thought I would really like it because it is a fantasy novel based on 3 triplets who are vying for the same crown and have to kill each other in order to become queen. These 3 girls each have a different ability. One can control elements, the other one is a poisoner, so she can drink or have any poison in her body and be completely fine. And the other one is a naturalist, so she can grow flowers and plants, and she has an animal that is her like spirit animal kind of thing. In essence, this sounds amazing, which is why I was super excited for this book. I believed the hype surrounding it. I thought I was absolutely going to love it. I'm a huge fantasy fan, and I thought this was right up my alley. However, it fell very flat for me. For one thing, it was never explained why the triplets had to kill each other. Never. Not once. Why did they have to kill each other? Why can't maybe the firstborn be the queen, whereas the other ones are just advising her, I should say? Or why can't it just be like a friendly competition? Why can't they just show who has more power but not actually kill the sibling? Why do they physically have to kill the sibling? Another thing with this book, I was constantly confused with all the characters that they mentioned. This book, which is probably, how long is it? 300 something pages? Yeah, almost 400 pages. This book had probably the same amount of characters as Game of Thrones does, and that is twice the size, and it has 5 books in it so far. There's going to be more. But this, like, I remember at one point it mentioned a character and what he did in the past, almost as if you should know what he had done. I'm like, who is this guy? I don't remember them ever mentioning him before. And if that's the case, then we shouldn't even know what he has done before. Why was the writing acting like we should have known, if you know what I mean? And finally, the thing that annoyed me the most, I think it happened in about 140 pages into the novel. I was so pissed about and so ready. I was already done with it at that point. I was done with this book, but I continued reading it because I was just curious. It's hard for me to put down a book and like DNF it, but yeah, it happened right in the beginning of the novel. A male character, finds another character, which is a girl, and he's half dead, so he's injured. He meets her on one page for the very first time in his entire life, and then the next page, she's like, oh my god, I love you, and they have sex. Right there. They just have sex, and then for the rest of the chapter, which is probably only 2 more pages, they are so in love with each other, and so just entranced with each other that they don't want to leave one another at all. Plus, he cheated. He had another girl that he has been in love with for a very long time. Needless to say, I was pissed off. For one thing, you just met the girl the page before. For another thing, you have a girl back home. So, as you can see, didn't like this book at all. And, yeah, I know some of the things are a little petty, like the whole guy falling. Honestly, that was the worst case of insta-love I have ever seen in all my years of reading and all the books I have ever read. This was the worst case of insta-love I have ever seen. And I'm not even kidding. He literally met the girl the page before. In the very next page, they have sex. Very next page. Okay, my rant is over. Okay, so those are 5 of the books that I just did not like in 2016. If you like these books, like, nothing against you. I'm glad you enjoyed these books, but none of these were right for me. So that's it from me for today. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please comment down below and let me know some of your least favorite books of 2016. I would love to know. I love these kinds of videos, and so this is why I'm making one to begin with. I just like seeing people's differing opinions. So yeah, please comment down below. Please like this video and subscribe if y'all aren't already. I also have links to my Twitter, my Instagram, my Snapchat, and my Goodreads down below in case you're interested. And I will see y'all next time. Bye!